Connor, overall evaluation of offensive line through week 2, the 2 games specifically.
Um, Pretty good overall. I feel like we've protected well. We've kept Keaton clean for the most part. I think we're only responsible for maybe one QB hit, which is good. Um, Run game obviously needs to improve. I think there's a lot of factors to that, but getting better every day and making adjustments and improving there. So.
What's been the challenges for you coming back with an offensive line that's pretty much all new compared to the past couple years?
I mean, it is a little bit different, not being next to guys you've played with for multiple years, just because how you do certain blocks or how your combinations are, how they handle things in protection, you get used to those things with certain people. And so obviously you have to kind of adjust, right? And there's chemistry that has to be built as a unit up front. And so I think we're still in that process a little bit. But overall, I think it's for how different it is, everyone either being at a new school or playing a new position. I think it's been pretty good overall considering how much turnover there was.
Coach Hunt was talking about that cohesion. How do you tell when, okay, hey, we're locked in? How does that feel, or what do you look for to know that you're getting to that point?
I think when, unexpected things happen live and you just handle it without even having to talk to each other, communicate it, that's when you kind of know, like, okay, we're all thinking the same thing, we're all on the same page. And, I think, there's challenges that come with that and getting to that point. And, Sam Houston, was a tough team to start out with on that front because, when you twist over 80% of the time as your base defense, that poses some challenges for an offensive line. But that was a great game for us to have to kind of work through some of those things, and we're still working through some of them. So,
Go ahead.
Thoughts on Arkansas, how much they've changed defensively this year compared to what you saw last year?
I mean, yeah, they're quite a bit different on defense, but they're really solid players. Good defense, strong defense, and I think there's a lot of carryover from what that coach did at UCF. And at the same time, though, has some new things, just different personnel, different players to work with, right? Maybe, in some ways, a little bit better players across the board for the entire defense. But, they look really solid. We're excited for the challenge.
Does this sort of game still hold the same level of significance for the program? Because these spots in the past used to be season defining. Now you're in a league. There might be questions of what this game really means. I mean, does this still hold a huge importance for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's really important for reason number one being it's the next game. You know what I mean? It's the most important game on our schedule right now. And, even though conference play comes later, I think, anytime you have a chance to go and play a team that took one from you last year in your home stadium, there's some extra juice there. And then, we kind of get to represent the teams here out west going into the SEC, and try to go put a good product on the field and represent the guys out here. So,
Connor, has the move with you going to guard and Paul starting at center, in your opinion, has that worked?
Yeah, I think it's been good. Overall, I mean, obviously it's different for both of us, right? He's in the same position but new system. I'm at a position that I have played before, but only in, 5 games, and, it was 2.5 years ago, back in my freshman season. So, but I think it's been good. Obviously, there's, every position on the offensive line is very different. Anytime you move anywhere, there's angles change, the speed of the game changes because of the distance from the people, and there's a lot of things that you kind of have to get used to again, which I had to work through some of those things in training camp and stuff like that, but I think it's been good.
Could you educate us and media and fans on kind of the differences between zone and maybe man blocking and what the percentages are between the two in your particular offense the first 2 weeks?
Sure. Zone, you kind of work through areas a little bit more, and because the zone schemes typically help you handle movement a little better, and it's easy to get picked when you're running a man scheme. So we ran a lot of zone against Sam Houston for that reason. And, I guess for a man scheme, it's exactly how it sounds. You have guys that you've declared that you're going to, and no matter where they go, that's where you end up. And so there's pros and cons to both. We're pretty balanced on offense between how much man we run and how much zone we run. So, That's kind of the dumbed down version, I guess.
That's what we need.
Yeah, you guys are all idiots, right?
You know that.
I'm just kidding.
I wanted to ask about mentality. When a team wants to stuff the box, and you know you're going to still try and run the ball at times. How rewarding is it, or what's the mentality that you have to be like, hey, we're going to make this play work anyway, even if you put 8, 9, 10 people in the box?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great mentality. I think 2021 was probably our best year of that. We were the best 4-minute team in the country, where we'd end games with 7 minutes left, where they knew we were going to run it, put 9 dudes in there, and we could move the ball. And you know, I think SUU tried to do that to us last week, having their safeties down at like 7 yards. And so, I mean, you know, we're not idiots. You're going to play your safety at 7 yards, we'll throw for 400 on you and 4 touchdowns or whatever it was. So, you know, but I guess we're just an okay team though. So, but I think you know, it is, you know, it's something you take pride in as an offensive line, to be able to move the ball in the run game regardless. And so, you know, those last 2 weeks have stung for us a little bit in that sense, of where we haven't been able to do that as consistently as we wished we would have, you know. But I think and there's a lot of reasons for that are being addressed. And so I'm excited for, you know, this game this week and getting the run game going, and for the rest of the season. So hopefully, we don't want to be peaking in the run game right now. Hopefully we can build it up and make it better every week and peak at the end of the season. So.
Speaking of that run game, Roderick told us LJ's going to get the start this week. Just your impressions of LJ as a freshman coming in and what he's provided.
I mean, he's played really well, right? He's done remarkably well for how young he is and just how hard he runs. You know, and he's made us look good on a few runs, you know, where we didn't block one so well. There was one play in the game against SUU, his 17-yard run that he had. You know, I didn't do a very good job on my guy, and I kind of lost leverage on him, and he broke the tackle, went for 17. And so, you know, like, it's, you know, all the running backs, you know, have the ability to do that, and LJ's been doing it really well throughout the first 2 games. And so it's a little bit unprecedented for a freshman to come in and have that a big of an impact immediately. But I mean, we have to do a better job for all the backs. You know, I think you know, the struggles that Aiden and Dion and even LJ at times too have had running between the tackles is our fault. And so, but LJ's done a great job with the opportunities that he's been given, and it's been fun to watch. He has a really bright future.
Hey, last one for Connor. You get a chance to go to Arkansas after
Yeah.
you know, they kind of pulled away at the end last year. Is that something you think about and remember and be like, hey, you know, because BYU traditionally has done pretty well, you know, when you get another shot at a team that got you.
Yeah, I think you know, it's definitely something you think about, because one of the goals we have as a team is to protect Lavelle's house, and you know, they came and beat us at home last year. And so anytime, you know, you don't defend your home field the way you want to, you know, you kind of have to. You have that little bit of an edge to the next game, you know, a little bit of a revenge factor. And, you know, but there's a lot of guys on this team that didn't play in that game, and so a lot of transfers. And so it's interesting, you know, there's a dynamic. There's some guys who are like, you know, very revenge driven in this game, and then others that are like, oh, we haven't even thought about this, you know, so it's been kind of funny. But all right, thanks guys.
Okay, thanks, Connor. Good luck this weekend.